revised down the outlook for growth, okay, and it marked up the forecast for inflation. Here now is Doug Flynn, co-founder at Flynn Zito Capital Management. What do you make of that? So that's what every conversation we've been having is like, what's going to happen with inflation? What's going to happen with growth?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what he said, the market just heard a lot of good things. It heard that even though there's been some sour sentiment, it doesn't match what's going on in the economy. The economy's strong. They heard we're going to get 2 rate cuts before the end of the year. So the market was like, that's great news. And off it went. It's actually one of the times when we've been on many times when he speaks and the market just starts to tank the minute he speaks. Yeah. And today it was the opposite effect. So a positive refrain from him for the first time in a long time. And maybe he'll walk that back after this when he sees how he did. But it's interesting. That's where we are now.
It's interesting. Sometimes you hear what you want to hear after a sell-off and markets at certain levels. The last few days it has been coming back. Yesterday excluded from that. Now Powell, like the rest of us, did acknowledge that he doesn't know what's coming, right? I did think some of this, I haven't seen everything he said, but this one clip, we'll play it now, is somewhat interesting to me. Here's the chairman.
The other factor, though, as I mentioned, is just really high uncertainty. What would you write down? I mean, it's really hard to know how this is going to work out. And again, we think our policy is in a good place. We think it's a good place where we can move in the direction where we need to. But in the meantime, it's really appropriate to wait.
That's like everybody, as CEOs of companies and everybody else, I think, to some extent. But he says he also said when he says his policy is in a good place, he said, well, we're in no hurry really right now. True. But that's why what he talked about because he knows what's coming. Right?
So the translator that I put him through says, April 2nd is looming. The next meeting is May, and we probably won't cut in May, but June, right now the market's pricing about a 2/3 probability that June will be the cut. Now, whether that happens or not, I don't know, but if May holds and then they do cut, maybe you get another one. And that's what he's saying. It's like, that's still the plan. We just have all this uncertainty between now and then. Even April, we don't know how it's going to shake out with the tariffs, and we might not know fully by May.
But I've been harping on this throughout the hour here, or since we came on, is that when you look at, we talk about it with oil, but if you certainly look at it with interest rates, you have to look at the reason why something is happening. So if interest rates start coming down because the Fed chairman says, well, the economy's in trouble, need to help it out here a little bit, that's not great. But if they're coming down because inflation's outlook is improving, that would be better. But I know the market today is reacting well, but his commentary suggests that they come down, it's because growth's an issue.
And he's not saying growth is an issue at all. He's saying actually the economy is strong, and he's also taking a little bit of a pre-victory lap, saying we've done such a good job at getting this under control. And look, they may not get all the way down to 2%, as we've said before. That's a lofty goal to get all the way there, and maybe that's a far way off if we ever get there. But it's obviously moving in the right direction. That's the most important thing. And then they can lower some rates and charge the market forward to the next leg.
Interesting. Thank you, Doug. Yeah, because he did come out and say, hey, I got to cut rates. It would spook the markets because they would be worried. He says he's holding steady for a while. There's the closing bell.